Number 4, Alabama at South Carolina. I think coming into this one, nobody expected this to be the barn burner that it was, the one that raised your blood pressure a little higher than maybe you had expected because Alabama had been playing so well. South Carolina has been struggling, starving for a win. And I want to note this before we get into it. Kaleb DeBoer, in one-score games since his time at Fresno State, is 20-7. And I don't think that happens for no reason. His demeanor, he's so stoic, and who I think takes after him best is Ty Simpson. His quarterback is an extension of the coach. And whenever you have that, you have a dangerous combo. Simpson's a guy who you want in the moments like this, when you're losing in the fourth quarter, when you're losing majority of the game, right? His ability to manage tough situations really stood out to me. You're down 8 points with under 3 minutes in the fourth quarter, and from that point, Simpson's 9 of 12, 60 yards and a touchdown just in that time. So for Bama to be down 8 in the fourth quarter, their largest fourth quarter comeback since 2021 at Auburn, to come back and win this game on the road, never easy. So I'm giving props to the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, I think Alabama deserves a lot of credit for this game. Also, credit to South Carolina. They played up to their level of opponent. They've had a really tough season. They're 3-5, 1-5 in the SEC. It has not been an easy slate for them going on. But for Bama, you find another way to win. Bernard, just an absolute masterclass. Tim Keenan forcing the fumble, not even really realizing he forced the fumble. I think that was pretty funny. Tim Keenan forced the fumble and didn't even really realize he forced it. I think this game was a barn burner, like you called, and it was just one of those games where you don't know who's going to win. They were pretty similar statistically the way they matched up, and that's the thing. They both had 2 turnovers. They both were about 8 for 16 and 6 for 17 on third down. Alabama had 17 first downs. South Carolina had 18. When you look at the box score of this game, which I know people don't like box score watching, but you got to look at the stats to really understand the game. This game was 100% closer than Bama could have lost this game. When South Carolina had that ball and they fumbled, Bernard, a really good play when he got that ball in his hands to give Alabama that 7-point lead. But overall, I just thought Bama played a really average ball game, but a ball game good enough for them to get a win at South Carolina. And credit to South Carolina too, because South Carolina showed up ready to play. Lenora Sellers, 18 of 32, 222 yards. He also had 67 yards on the ground. That was the Lenora Sellers we've been waiting to see all season. I think was the biggest pull away for this game. And I think Lenore Sellers played up to the level of competition, whereas lately he's been playing down. And I thought overall, though, Ty Simpson still had himself a good day. He does a great job protecting the ball and not turning it over. And I think you've got to be able to do that as a quarterback. Not turning over the ball is a huge factor. He was 24 43, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns. He threw the ball 43 times. I think when you throw the ball that much, it shows a massive trust. I think Chambliss, Trinidad for Ole Miss, threw it 44 times, right? Yeah. So if that shows anything from an offensive coordinator, Grubb and Simpson, that they're really trusting. They built a very trusting relationship, and one that's really good, one that's kind of taken over college football right now with the way Ty Simpson's playing. So I thought that was just phenomenal. And then, South Carolina, just brutal. They needed that one win, right? A signature win would have been really nice for them after the year they've had in the SEC. Yeah. But unfortunately, they fall. And Alabama just keeps winning, man. That's a team that just keeps winning. And I think when you get to this point in the SEC play, you're going to have close games. You're going to have close games. Go look at everybody. Go look at what Kentucky did to Georgia a few years ago. You're going to have close games in the SEC that you don't expect to have. And I think for Alabama, just getting out of there with a win and the tie keep rolling. I think that's the mantra, right? Yeah. The tie just got to keep rolling. And right now they're rolling. And their number 4 team ranking is still legit. I don't want anybody to try to delegitimize Alabama for this close game. South Carolina on the road is a hard environment to play. That is a totally tough environment. And can't lie and say that South Carolina didn't come out ready to play ball, because they did. But Alabama finds a way, and I mean, just Ty Simpson. I mean, the way they don't run the ball at all for that offense is so inefficiently running the football right now for Alabama, and the way Ty Simpson can carry that team on his arm is just so impressive and cool to see.
Yeah, and South Carolina, obviously, they're playing with their backs to the wall, right? They have really nothing to lose, and you could tell they wanted it. And that's, I think, what put them in the game for the majority. And in the first half, it was exactly like you mentioned, stopping the run. Bama had 2 rushing yards in the first half. And in the second half, it did improve. Jeremy Bernard scored 2 touchdowns in the final 2.5 minutes. But what I think, to your very point, is Alabama uses the pass game as an extension of their running game. Ryan Grubb is the play caller. I thought in short yardage situations in this game, he was masterful. The touchdown that ended up, I think, either putting him up or tying the game, the gotta have it kind of touchdown situations in the fourth quarter. The play scheme and the plays they draw up, the 2-point conversion play. I don't know if you remember that one. They snap the ball to the running back, pitch it to Simpson, a fake reverse to the wide receiver coming across, and he finds the tight end in the end zone, and that's what ties the game. Things like that. Bama can lean on the coaching in those situations while also leaning on the players to execute that coaching. That's where I think Bama is really elite. And to your point on the defense, yes, the run game has to improve. That was my last point on the offense. But for defense, the way that Alabama defends the pass is elite. Their defense against the run game, I think, is maybe an area they're looking to improve, right? They're a little leaky on that front because they did let Lenoris Sellers get out and scramble a little bit. A lot of them got taken away by flags, but regardless, he was able to get loose. The games that they've struggled are the games where they let the opposing run offense beat their run defense. And that's something I know DeBoer is probably talking about in meetings this week that they have to clean up.
Yeah, Alabama hates seeing a running quarterback. It's been like this for a while now. Alabama is not fans of a running quarterback. But yeah, overall, Alabama finding a way to win. That's a hard place to play. And that's just all credit to Alabama for going out there and winning that ball game. Because I don't think any coach in the SEC would want to go play at South Carolina, even if they're 1-5 in SEC play, even if they've had a horrible year. South Carolina is known to rise to the occasion against these good teams. Look what they did to Tennessee a few years back when Tennessee was a college football playoff contender. So South Carolina just is able to, able to run.
Whoa!
Excuse me again.
Stay with me here, boss man. Stay with me. Don't
Sorry. No, South Carolina is just able to rise up to the level of competition. So if you're an Alabama fan, just be glad you got out of there with the win and keep it moving.
Yeah, proves the Bama legitimacy. 29-17 final from Columbia.